Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela. And I just saw Marlene and Theresa do a video a few days ago, a couple days ago, some days ago, I don't know, recently, about the scariest cards in the tarot and she showed a few of what typically is the scariest cards in there for people, and then her take on the scariest cards in there. I just threw this together because I have limited time nowadays for anything, really. But I was going to show you the top five cards that she put in there was the Death card, the Nine of Swords, Tower, Ten of Swords, and the Devil. In the tarot is usually the top five that people say are the scariest cards in there. I have more softer versions of those cards that I think are the best. That show you a little bit different take on those specific cards. The first one is the Death card, and that's from my Light Seers Tarot. This is the mass market version. This is the third tarot deck I ever bought, and it's the second one the first one I didn't jive with, so I didn't learn tarot on it. And then I got another card deck, which I'll show you a card in that. Learned tarot on it, and then I got this one, and it just added another layer. Like, it ripped another layer away of learning deeper meanings of what the cards meant. And I love that this says death and rebirth, because it's this cyclical nature of things, right? Like, there's no light without dark. There's no day without night. There's no rebirth without death. And that's how I've chosen to kind of see the Death card. Usually when I get the Death card, it usually means that something has come to an end. It's dead and gone. Why am I still holding on to something that's already gone? Just need to look forward to the new day. And that is probably why this is probably my favorite Death card. Simply because it reminds you that, yes, something has died, but it's opening a way for something new. Something possibly even better than what you had. Then we have the Nine of Swords, which this is from my Meraki Tarot, the first edition. And this just looks like the swords are kind of a protection while they're sleeping, instead of the nightmarish card that it can be. I also have another deck, the Yuletide Tarot, that shows the Nine of Swords is literally the guy has writer's block, and I'm like, and so that gives you like writer's block or whatever in that Nine of Swords, which I think is accurate for me, but it's a lighter take on this card that can mean nightmares. So yeah. So then we have the third card she showed was the Tower. This is from the Tarot of the She. And I think this is probably one of the most empowering cards in any of the decks I have. Because she's exploding out of the mask that she's wearing. She no longer needs the mask. And emerging like a new butterfly or a new being or a new thing. And I freaking love this take on this card. It's, again, to me, like the Death card, there can't be, new things can't come in if the old is still there. Just so if you think about an actual tower, it's crumbling, but the basis of it is still good. The foundation is built well. Just the rest of it wasn't as good. And then, so somebody comes along and takes that part off and reveals the beautiful foundation underneath and builds anew. Builds something better. And I love that take in this card. Love it. So next we have the Ten of Swords, and again we've got my Light Seers. Now, I know the original has a different Ten of Swords, which I wouldn't have mind keeping in, having the option in the mass market version of either card. Just saying, that could have been an option. But I do love this. There's no swords in it. It's just the birds and her looking beyond at the new dawning of the new day. And again, in a way, it reminds me of the death card again, because something has gone away. Something has fallen away. And you're now seeing that there's a new day dawning. And kind of in that respect, we all get a fresh start every day, right? So I love that in this Ten of Swords. Last card, the Devil. Light Seers. I mean, he's got the strings here, but he's so pretty. You're so distracted. You're like, oh, wait a minute. And yes, that is the point of the Devil card. It's temptation. I just think this is he's very beautiful. And I could have picked an animal deck or something like that shows just something far less tempting. But the Devil card for me is we can be our own devil, right? We can do horrible things to ourselves and not realize these are the demons we've created for ourselves. So I think it's very much a complete reminder that, yes, he's holding the strings and he's beautiful, but at the same time, you have the power to cut them. Only you have the power to let go, to willingly break out of that mold, and stop letting others control you. So I just thought I would show a little bit better, I guess, interpretation of these cards than the typical RWS, just because they're horrible. And yes, I agree, those are horrible cards, but I don't ever see those. When those cards come up, it usually means, hey, you need to do this, this, and this. Or maybe we should think about letting go of this situation. Like the Ten of Swords only pops up for me, or the Death card only pops up for me when it's something I'm holding on to that I'm refusing to give up, that's already gone. It's already gone. And I'm just beating a dead horse, so to speak. So, and the Devil never comes up for me, because what you see is what you get. I'm not, actually, it has been coming up for me in the last few months, just because there's been so much going on and I've let it kind of consume me in a way. And that is the point of the Devil card, right? And I knew it the whole time. Every time I was pulling it, I'm like, yeah, I know why I'm pulling you. But it's easier said than done to kind of navigate those demons and try to extricate them and get rid of them. And yeah. And here lately, I've been having a lot of epiphany moments. And my card of the month for March is the Ten of Pentacles. And I actually pulled the Ten of Cups for a friend of mine at work today. And she's like, oh, I got the Happy Family card. I said, the Happy Family card is not always a happy family. Just like the Ten of Pentacles isn't always a whole family having it all. And it could be the exact opposite. And that's how I've been feeling lately, the negative aspect of that card. So I really have been literally taking into account everything that's going on around me and what I've made of it and things like that. So now we're going to switch gears, because that was the top 5 she had on her video. And I just want to show a little bit softer versions of those cards, just because they're beautiful. And I didn't say the Meraki Tarot is a indie deck. I don't know if you can still get it on her Etsy shop or not. It's Bouchette Design. Everybody should know by now who that is. But now we're going to switch gears and we're going to show my worst cards. My personal, in my opinion, worst cards on the deck. And I don't think any of them I think a couple of them, people are going to be like, yeah, we knew that. But the rest of them are going to be, what? So for the first one, and Marlene and Theresa showed it in her video. My top dog, worst card ever. That I cringe when I pull this card for myself. This is from the Tarot Illuminati. It's the deck I learned on. It's the second deck I ever bought. It is the Six of Cups. Everybody's like, what? This is nostalgia, memory, childhood memories, blah, 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 blah. First of all, I did not have the greatest childhood. So 90% of my memories are not good. And every time I pull this card, which I pull it not often, but I pull it often enough that I know, okay, it's time to do some more childhood work or things I don't want to do. This card forces me to do. Which is why I hate it. But the first thing I thought of when I saw this specific card, I was like, there's a dude watching them. Like, it was creepy. And yes, there's a guard in the card in the RWS, and this isn't basically an RWS clone, but I immediately thought pedophile, and I've associated that with this card ever since. That's what stuck in my brain, and it won't go away. But there's also other trauma tied to this card for me because of the childhood that I had and things that I grew up with. And so to me, this is a very traumatizing card, no matter what deck I pull it from. Every time I pull this, I'm like, yeah, it's that time again. We got to dig deep and do some more work. And I hate that because I grew up, you don't cry, you don't show emotions. So when I pull this card, I know I'm going to be uncovering emotions. I'm going to have to feel something. And that is the biggest thing I can possibly overcome in my life, is feeling something that I don't want to feel. And which is why I hate this card with a passion. But that's my number one card I hate in the deck, in tarot. So number two, you're gonna have to, I would assume you would know. Everybody would know. This is my Forever Stalker card. This is from the Light Seers, the Five of Wands. She did have this in a secondary, worst cards ever people pull. This card, again, almost every card in here that I've got is a self-reflection, self-working card. The first time I saw this, I'm like, oh, it's five guys trying to get to this light. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. It's like a race. It's a competition. And then I was like, the next time I pulled it, I'm like, it almost looks like the same person. And then it hit me that this is a competition with self. And then I read it again at another time, and I'm like, oh my God. So this is, to me, what my interpretation of this specific card is. It's 5 aspects of self, one person, all trying to compete to be top dog, best in show, whatever. And instead of competing, instead of fighting with each other, they should just blend together and work together, and then everything would work out. And every time I pull this card, every time I pull this specific card, there's something going on in my life that I may not even be recognizing that it's happening, where I'm either going and doing 10 different jobs at once, or I'm having an inner conflict with myself, always. And as a Virgo, I think I'm just more inclined to always have inner conflicts. But this is why I say this is my Forever Stalker card. I just did an unboxing of a deck yesterday, and this is the card I pulled. I pull this card all the time. For the 4 or 5 years I've been reading tarot, it's an all the time card, no matter what is happening, because I'm always at odds with myself, if that makes any sense. So that's card 2. Then we have the Chariot, which is my soul card. This is from the Ferret Panther Tarot. Chariot is my soul card. I never really connected with the Chariot until I got the Bone Sun and Earthflesh Tarot, which I'll show you a card from that in a minute. But then I saw this card. The trailer is broken off from the horse. They're trying to fix some stuff. I had a visceral, horrified reaction to this card the first time I saw it. And I was like, why? Because it's so, it's just chaos to me. And me growing up the way I did, and being a Virgo and needing everything in its order, this is completely and utterly chaos to me. And I can't handle it. Especially when I'm always at odds with stuff. So, I have conflicting emotions when it comes to the Chariot, because I know what it means, that it's moving forward, you're getting from point A to point B, but this one, and this is why this card is why this specific deck is my shadow work deck. Because anytime, if the Chariot starts popping out for me, it's either trying to make me take a closer look at something, or if I'm doing like a mediumship reading, if I pull the Chariot, that I know this person knows me in some way, which is, it's cool. But yeah, I'm always at odds with this card. Always. So next we have the Hermit, and this is from the 420 Tarot. I cannot, again, a visceral reaction to this card the first time I saw it. I love the Hermit card. As a Virgo, I am the ultimate hermit. This one, it's so dark and just, it's too dark. But again, I've gotten to the point with the Hermit card where I know you can be in hermit mode too long and it's actually hurting you. And I have talked about this forever. This specific card reminded me, this is why I had a visceral reaction to this card. This specific card reminded me, you've been in hermit mode too long. Wake up, get out of it, walk around, do something, take action, as the wands would say. You need to move, get out of this. Because it can become a detriment to ourself, to our health, if we stay in hermit mode too long. And that's why every time I pull this card, that's usually what it means. Hey, you're sitting too long. Get out of there. Because I'm always the hermit, right? Then we have, I don't have odds with it anymore, but this is from my Super Lunaris Tarot. This 8 of Swords, it gives me suicidal vibes. Not that I'm suicidal, but it makes me think this is the person. If I use this deck for mediumship reading and I pull the 8 of Swords, that's to me what it means. Is someone either committed suicide or is contemplating it. Because this is such a dark card for me. And again, this was a visceral reaction to this card. I love every card in this deck except this one. And the 8 of Swords is my card. It's the card I look for in tarot when I'm buying a deck. I can't do this one. So then we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is my card of the year. This is from the Dream Keepers Tarot, the Fates. I just don't like that we have some kind of fate written out for us. You know what I mean? Like we can only carry ourselves so far. I don't like that. I want to be in control as a Virgo. Again, as a Virgo, I want to be in control of every aspect of my life. And again, when I do feel out of control, this pops up. And I'm like, okay. So then we have, this is also from the Dream Keepers Tarot, the Temperance card. I love this temperance card, but at the same time, I hate it because temperance is all about balance for me. And right as I was learning, oh my gosh, I don't know where it was. I had to pause it and take the dog out. When I was first still new at Tarot, I bought this deck because of my crazy dreams. And I said, I feel like everything is like I'm getting one piece of the puzzle at a time. And then I drew this card and I'm like, wow, it's creating this bigger picture. And there's an imbalance here to me because there's more over here than one. There's more pieces over here than there is here, or vice versa. But every time I pull the temperance card, it's telling me you're out of balance. Fix it. And that scares me because, again, as a Virgo, everything needs to be in its place. Everything needs to be in balance. Everything needs to run smoothly in my life. And 90% of the time, I have this feeling where I have no control over anything. Everything's out of whack. And I'm fighting myself. So yeah. So then the last card I have before I run out of time here from the Bone Stone and Earthflesh Tarot is the Seven of Cups. This made me start thinking about other dimensions because it literally looks like he's at some kind of swap meet in another dimension, which I love this card for. But the options, there's just too many options. And then, of course, as a Virgo, I'm like in my head, what do I need to bring? Why are the cups different? What are the different prices for things? It's just too many options. And then I'm afraid I'm going to make the wrong option or wrong choice. So this is also another tough card for me. It doesn't come up that often because I don't have multiple choices like that. Usually it's one or two that I can contend with. But when it comes up with multiple cards like this or multiple options like that, I'm just cringing because I don't want to make a decision or the wrong decision. And I think that's what it breaks it down to is I don't want to make a decision because I'm afraid to make the wrong decision. So yeah, that's my cards I wanted to show y'all. And this one really got me talking and thinking about other dimensions. I've had dreams. I don't know if you guys remember me talking about the Chinese restaurant with the chicken fried rice. It's run down. It looks horrible. But I feel like it's like a meeting place for another dimension. And when I first saw this card, I'm like, oh my God, because I've pretty much been having this dream since right before this card. And I've had this deck since it came out a couple years ago. So I find that interesting that this is kind of a segue into that specific type of dream. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all for now. I got a few videos coming up. Hopefully I can get them done this weekend. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification button so you're alerted to any future videos. And I will post Marlene and Theresa's video below. And this is basically the worst cards. The cards that are her worst cards in the deck. And now mine. And I'll see you later. Bye.